So, as a add-on to the history lecture, I told you I'd have a short history on Ruby, and so here we are. So Ruby is a interesting language. It was created by a man named Yukihiro Matsumoto. He just goes by the name Mats in Japan back in 1993. Mats was a interesting guy. He he still is an interesting guy. He knew Perl at the time and he hated it. Perl is a language that's mainly used for high-end text processing. It's a general-purpose language. You can do a lot of things with Perl. You can do a lot of things with Ruby. But Perl has interesting syntax that is extremely difficult to read, and there's a we'll say a phenomenon in the Perl users that they like to try to write everything as a single line, which leads to poor readability, poor maintainability of the code. And Mats was talking to one of his friends, and they started kicking around this idea of making a truly object-oriented scripting language. And how would they be able to do that? And so that was kind of what generated Mats's wish list, as you see here. He wanted something that was extremely simple in syntax. It was truly object-oriented, as in everything is an object, has all the object-oriented principles. He wanted to have iterators and closures. Closures are a thing from so iterators being from the concept of the imperative world, as well as closures from functional programming. He wanted to have exception handling, garbage collection, and overall he wanted this to be extremely portable. And so he developed it, and the first release came out in like 1995, 96, but only in Japan. And the interesting thing is, so in developing this language, it became this weird hybrid. Over time, it has gained more and more functionality, but it's an interpreted language, so it's not compiled. It's object-oriented, but it's also dynamically typed, and so it gained a lot of stuff from the world of Simula. They learned from other languages like Java and how they want more object orientation than those languages provide. So there are no primitive types. There's just objects. It's dynamically typed, like I said, and it's a scripting language. So you can just kind of write the script and run it. You don't have to worry about compiling it. So now it becomes extremely portable. As long as there's a Ruby interpreter, there you have the ability to run your code. But it stayed in Japan and didn't really start branching out of Japan until about 13 years later, in 2006, when this framework called Ruby on Rails was created. And Ruby on Rails is this really interesting way of quickly and easily developing web apps that was prior to the advent of newer techniques based on JavaScript frameworks. But and it was used. It was the basis for Twitter when they first started. It was the basis for several projects that existed, and it's really easy to create a prototype up and running web app in no time flat. Anyway, it's still around. All these things are continuing to be developed. Ruby is still a very good language to use, and as we'll see, you can do a lot of really cool things with it. All right, that's it. Have a good one.